All right, welcome to Make HOAG Money, October the 4th, 2022. Glad to see everybody. Got a few folks still piling in here in the Zoom meeting, a few coming in the YouTube. So good morning, everyone. Let's get started. This is the CFTC disclaimer. There is a lot of risk in trading. You should only be using a capital that you can afford to lose. That's what we call risk capital. One of the reasons I do love Top Step is you're not going to have to put up risk capital. We are. Succeed in the trading combine, you'll get funded by us. Some information for you about that is just about to hit your emails at 10 o'clock this morning. Make sure you check that out. A few simple rules here. Kindness and respect are expected above everything. There's a lot of difference of opinion in markets, and that's what makes them so good. Going to have a couple of people enabled to speak today. Looks like we may have some new opportunities for some new folks to speak a little bit. I'm looking forward to that. We're all going to be involved in the decision-making process. Anything you're thinking about as far as trades you're thinking about taking, it's useful to add context to that. You will be able to show your charts. We're going to use the chat room to discuss trades. We're going to use the polling section. God, I still haven't redone that. I got to get that done. And a few things I got to get done for Make HOAG Money this week. And but we're going to use the polling system to decide on trades, and we're going to be focusing on the E-mini S&Ps for opportunities. We have to remember we don't have to trade. We don't want to trade, just to make it exciting. We got to be thinking about risk management and good opportunities first. We're not allowed to take losing trades, which is, of course, a joke. We know that there are always going to be losses. We have to accept that and move on. And feedback about Make HOAG Money is always going to be vital. I mentioned yesterday or the day before that we were going to add a session of Make HOAG Money for tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to be prepared to do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the adjustments to the website and the other things here that we need to adjust. And then hopefully we'll get started with that next week with 4 sessions of Make HOAG Money. Monday from 2 to 3 p.m. Central. Tuesday, its usual time, 8:20. Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Central. And again, on Thursday, it's regular time at 8:20 a.m. So we're going to see openings and closings on Make HOAG Money. Looking forward to adding those. But again, give me a little bit of a break on getting prepared for those. So if anybody would like to discuss trades, now is the time. We're going to open up the platform here, and there we go. I think we may have an opportunity for the opening range trade, but let's look at context here first. Here's the daily E-mini S&Ps. Some good buying coming in yesterday. We've got a gap to the upside. The market's opening out of balance from the previous day, which is one of the reasons why I think we have some decent opportunity for an opening range trade. Here's the 30-minute chart. Okay, we had the late spike on Friday, rejected, continuation. We are continuing this move to the upside. We have to remember we do have a considerable amount of overnight inventory, which is holding longs. Overnight inventory is when the market opens here and price continues to push higher all night long. We've got price moving higher. We've got shorter hands traders buying these contracts, and they're probably holding on to some overnight longs as we speak. So opening out of range and out of balance from yesterday gives me the idea maybe we'll get an opportunity to look for an opening range trade today. Here's what the profiles look like. Here's the late spike from Friday, the rejection of the late spike, the continuation, or some short covering here, new buying coming in here, the market continuing to push to the upside, and again, we are out of range and out of balance. So if anybody would like to talk today, let me know. Raise your hand or just say, hey, I'll talk. I see Ben. You're here today. If you'd like to be a speaker, let's do it. See how you're feeling. We don't have to have anybody talk, really. I mean, we can just discuss trades in the chat if that's what we're doing. Let's take a poll here and see if we want to take the opening range trade. Remember, we've been keeping it at about 5 or 6 points of risk. Let's take the poll and see what we say, see what we see. Oh, Ben, issues with charts and they've been shredding tree limbs outside. Well, that's going to be a little bit noisy. I completely understand. Brother's not around today, so he won't be joining us. I got Matt Hoyt. Mr. Hoyt, it is Tuesday. What do you think? Want to chat today? All right. So here's our decision here for 74% saying yes to the opening range trade. We've got about 3 minutes. Mr. Hoyt, I'm going to promote you to a panelist and we'll see what we've got going on. Mr. Hoyt is an old friend of mine from the trading floor. He's one of the old salts. All right, you are a panelist.
All right, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Doing good, doing good. What are you thinking?
I mean, geez, price screamed higher. I gotta say, the way I look at it, unless we break below 37.35, I'm looking for longs.
So you're kind of basing that off of, I know you're probably not looking at that off of VWAP, but something else that you're looking at, right?
Yeah, just, a 15, 20-minute chart. The last push down, we pushed down to 37.35, and then we made a higher high up to 37, whatever, 62. So I look for changing behaviors before I go against, before I make a trade, or I go with the flow. So right now, the flow is higher highs, higher lows.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm doing.
All right. So that tells me if we're going to take the opening range trade, we're hoping it breaks out to the upside first.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I'm with you. The only thing that worries me, Matt, is the overnight inventory looks very long.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going to be looking for longs, I agree with that, but I'd like to see a little more of a pullback for us to get that opportunity. But we don't get to choose that, do we, Matt?
No, we don't. That's why, like for the open, for me, I'm staying out of it right now because price isn't near a place where I feel like I have something to hide behind, right? So for me, I'm just going to sit here and wait and watch.
You see that?
I feel like the market's stretched to the upside. I mean, look at that run.
It is kind of feeling that way, right? I mean, all the way to from last week's low to last week's high in 2 sessions.
Right. And we hit that, if you look at the daily chart or maybe like a weekly chart, you can see that the down move, if you measure the down move in the S&P from top to bottom, it's almost exact as the down move from the COVID crash. That's like, boom, like we're bouncing off. That's the second time we've hit that level. I mean, even though we got lower than the July low when we hit it, that's the second test of that area, and price has been supporting that. So we'll see how high it can go. Oh, did I lose you?
No, we're here. No, we're here. Just looking at that move. All right, let's take a look here on the 1 minute chart and see if we see anything good. All right, we got 10 seconds to the open. Okay, we have the opening range on 48, 51, 54. We're already greater than 5 points of risk. Mmm. Good morning, Michael. Vince probably means we should take it. You're absolutely right. Sometimes it's just the way it works, right?
How do you guys do on Thursday?
I think we took a one loss, and then we had a nice winner that we left on and hit a profit target after the end of after we were done with Make HOAG Money. So we actually made money.
We like making HOAG money.
That's right. That's right. You guys, you better. All right, so it looks like we're out on the opening range trade here. Traded right to the low of it here. Uh, Where am I? Here I am. Okay. All right, so this is a 30-minute chart. Matt, is there another chart that you would like to look at?
30 minutes fine.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes I'll do a 5-minute, but you can see that low at 37.37, the recent low.
Right here.
Yeah. And then we popped up to new highs. I mean, we haven't taken out even one of the bars on the way up. Look at that. I mean, it's up, 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 up. Higher low. Every bar is almost a higher low. Until we can whack one of those bars, there's no reason to get short, right? I mean, it's just, if you're long, the market's paying you, you're going to stay long. And I'm curious to see when we get up to that 37.84 you were talking about. I mean, I have something in that area that's interesting, so I feel like price is for sure going to get there. What does it do then? You know, how am I going to get tricked?
Right. Yeah. Once you get the right answer, it's going to change the questions. So here's that level. I mean, this is the TPO point of control is up here, 73.80, 73.83 quarter. Now it traded to it in the overnight to the tick. Did you see what happened yesterday? Yesterday's high was the point of control from the 28th to the tick, and it wasn't checked in regular trading hours. So that's a direct hit right there. So are we going to be doing that? Are we going to be seeking points of control for targets? And if that's the case, then that weekly kickoff high, 87.30, 87.83 quarter, is the next move to the upside here. Now we just took out the high of the overnight, so we're looking at being correct in looking for direction, at least for now, right? But where do we get in? Now this is a kind of a interesting opportunity because sometimes when we take out the overnight high and fail to continue, it brings a downside opportunity. Yeah, Mike, it wants to fill that 922 gap, that 37.83 quarter. Well, point of control, 922 gap, 922 gap. Right here, which it just did. Nice eyes. Anything sticking out on your charts that we should be looking at?
I mean, for me, I don't know. I've got a little frequency going on these last 3 or 4 lows over like 37.42 to 37.45. I just, then my stop's got to be at the 37.34. So it's kind of rich. for a market that I feel is stretched. But that's really all I've got.
What about if the market gives us the opportunity down to the VWAP, which is 37.39,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of takes out a couple of those recent lows that
Right,
they keep
right,
putting in higher highs, but at least it's better risk than the amount of risk you're looking at.
right, right. Yeah, no, I'd be down for that. I mean, because we just take out the high, so
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as long as we don't take out, well, it depends where we close this candle and what time frame you're looking at. But if this candle closes above this 52, then that's a new high, which means now 42 is my swing low. That I could hide behind 42 and be happy, or at least feel like it's worth a shot.
How about anywhere up against this low volume node here in regular trading hours today? Because if we're going to be, continuing to move to the upside, this market it's going to try not to let us in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to say, yeah, you're going to be cute trying to buy pullbacks. Well, you ain't going to get one.
Right. Pullbacks not on sale today.
No.
We're all out of pullbacks. You're gonna have to buy the momentum. It is still early. Do we have any 9 o'clockers coming out? What do we have?
Yeah, we do. We have jolts and factory orders. Miners. Nothing big. We do have talking feds, 8 o'clock and 8:15 Central Time.
Talking Feds.
Mm-hmm. Psycho killers.
Right? So Jolts, okay. Well, of the numbers coming out, Jolts is probably the most significant, maybe?
Well, I mean, the focus really this week is on employment. I mean, today starts with the jolts, and then, tomorrow we've got ADP employment report. Thursday we've got jobless clams as usual every Thursday, and then unemployment on Friday. Remember unemployment on the trading floor?
Yeah, unenjoyment.
Unenjoyment. If you called in sick that day, you basically tendered your resignation.
Yeah, you were toast. Better to show up and be asked to leave than call in.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Dude, what'd you do last night?
What happened to you?
There's Matt right there. It looks like it's actually on an unemployment day because he looks very unhappy.
With the double headset on.
The double headset,
Always a fun day.
always quoting. Brian, what does point of control mean? Point of control it's considered the fairest price of a given time frame. So in market profile, the point of control is the widest line of TPOs that's closest to the center of the range. So we've got the point of control from yesterday is down here. In volume profile, the point of control is the single price that has the highest volume. So those are considered fairest prices. Most visited on TPO and highest volume in volume profile.
Is that usually the same number in the volume profile and the TPO?
No, that's a good question, Matt. Because the TPO point of control is based in time. Where has the market spent most of the time? Where the volume point of control is where is most of the volume, and quite often they can be significantly different. So today's point of control right now, because we only have one TPO, is the center of the range. But the volume point of control is a little bit higher because we've been stacking up more volume above that point of control. Now, how can that change? Well, if we continue to extend the range to the upside in a period, point of control is also going to move higher. If we just hang up here and pile up a bunch of volume, then we can also bring the volume point of control higher. So what it means over time is the fairest price of the day or a period of time indicates that the point of control is moving higher, buyers are winning.
Gotcha. And then from Monday's action, we have a gap open. We're open out of range, out of value.
Out of range, out of value. So that means earlier opportunities might be your better opportunities. When we came down and tested that low of the opening range right here,
yeah,
that was it.
That was it. It was a trampoline.
But how do you know?
You have to take a guess. I mean, it's okay as long as you have a stop.
As long as you can manage the risk. Now we've agreed in Make HOAG Money to manage the risk by just taking opening range trades that are 5 to 6 points or less. And we had 7 points, 8 points of risk in the opening range. So we're looking at 9 points of risk on the opening range trade. We agreed we wouldn't do that. We can always re-agree. Right.
I don't like the answer. Let's vote again. What was it, like a 1 minute bar chart you're looking at?
Yeah. The opening range, to me, Matt, you remember in the trading floor. Hey, we got Joe's looking to join us a little bit here. I'm going to let him in, but you remember the opening range, right?
The first minute, basically. For me, I always thought first minute. Some guys were 30 seconds. I don't know.
Yeah. But on the floor, the opening range could be 2 ticks wide and 20 seconds if there's not a lot of business to do. Or if it's a really busy day, it could be 5 minutes and 10 handles.
Right.
But that's because the opening range was, how long and what range did it take to fill all the orders that were due a fill on the open.
True.
Well, we got a bunch of knuckleheads like me and Ico and other knuckleheads that are trying to get all these orders done first thing, and it takes a little bit longer when it's person to person than it does on screen. If I have 1,000 E-mini S&Ps I want to buy, I can usually get that done within the first minute.
Right.
So there are people that say 30 seconds. There are people that say 3 minutes. There's people that say 5 minutes is the opening range. But I find that 1 minute is usually going to be a little bit. It's usually going to be long enough to get anything that we need to get done.
I agree.
So we are in agreement here, my good friend, that we are looking for longs, but the market has been very difficult in giving us the opportunity to buy a pullback. It's keeping us out.
Right.
And that happens. So what do you think of actually just kind of waiting for a pullback or looking for an opportunity up near that naked point of control for an execution up there in the opposite direction?
Me?
Yeah.
I'll wait and see what price does. I'm a guy I've donated enough trying to, price gets to this level from the past and it just blows through it. So I'm more of a fan of let me see how price behaves when it gets to that level. Give me a couple bars. If I'm looking at a 5 minute chart or a range bar chart, whatever I'm looking at, I want to see price dance with that level and maybe show its hand before I just smack it. That's me though.
Okay, we got a couple that are trying to join us here with our conversation. Joe, I tried to let you be a panelist. Ben, I turned you into a panelist. At least I think I have. Promote to panelist. Seems like, oh, okay, now we're going. There's Ben.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Ben. Joe, I'm going to see if I can't get you into panelist too, if that's what you're looking for. What's up, Ben? How's it going?
Well, it's all right. I'm working on some stuff. My levels and things are all messed up, but I did happen to see something going on. You know, I looked at the daily bar chart, how we gapped up and everything, so I scrolled back to see, because I've been seeing potential for a lot of short covering rally, but I also I saw a real critical inflection point at 70 quarter, which is I have to show you what I'm talking about, but I was going to say we need to go short below it or long above it, but it's kind of already happened.
Yeah, right? Timing is everything.
I'll show you another possibility. You know, again, you want to play extremes with possible low risk reward if you want to, if I can share here.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. 83. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, now the market internals it's early up, but it's pretty strong to the upside. So, you know, any shorts kind of right or right out, all right? This is today over here on the right. It's all scrunched up. This is the market profile chart, right? 70 quarter was the value area low of 921, and there's like, this might be difficult to see. Scroll back here. You can see right here, so it was very thin in the overnight session. Value area low here, and you can see, like, this is just a minute chart here, how we, you know, it came off there 3 points, but, you know, then we got above it, and then there was a long, right? So now it's come up, and I want to show you now where we are, this potential for, I guess, we get back down to 70 quarter or even the shoulder. But what I was thinking is you got this VPOC. I need to move this little window out of the way. Okay, you've got this, I'll put my crosshairs on. Got a volume point of control at 80. Overnight anomaly, and at 7850, the TPOC. We do have a poor high, but what I'm thinking is we can get in this area between 80 and 78. You know, there's maybe an opportunity for a short here. Actually, we did hit 78 already, so it's come off. Or maybe a little higher, but you could risk this up here at 83, you know, knowing we're wrong. Or wait till we get up there, you know, be a little more conservative, and then maybe have your stop above where it's bumped out here in M period at 86. I hope you're following this. I can explain it better.
No, I see it.
But, you know, tempo isn't really strong, and it's not like rocketing through it. You know, it's going to churn around. There might be an opportunity. That doesn't mean we're going to roll over to the downside 20 points. I mean, it just might mean we could, you know, somebody could make 2 to 6 points, you know, maybe you move back down to like 74, something like that. So that's the idea. And then
is that the
up here you got the value, and I changed, by the way, I'm on this, you know, my night session starts at 5 p.m. Central, and I end at 3 p.m. Central, so all my charts should be equal to yours now. So I've got a volume value area high at 87 quarter up here. So, you know, there's just the area, again, it's a contrarian move.
and I'm a contrarian for sure.
Yeah, so anyway, those are just some thoughts coming up into this area. And, you know, there's like, you can see this divot right here. It might be a place to, you know, I expect a little turbulence through there, maybe stop right up here. You know, if we get up there, so that's 87 quarter to 90. Not too bad. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't do like a proper pre-market this morning, so I'm kind of shooting from.
I noticed it wasn't in my inbox. So we're thinking, I think, a kind of similar here. You know, I've been waiting for this opportunity to get up here to 37.83 with that naked point of control. 83 quarter right here. and my stop I've got right now at 91. Do we agree? Do we want to try and take this trade? Just launching the poll now. Rob Cross short. I don't know. Seems like trying to call the top. Yeah, you're right.
I'll tell you what, I've got something that if I see price do what I want it to do up here, I would try to get short around that level, anywhere between 80 and 85. But first I need to see price get rejected off of this.
Mm-hmm. And then come back towards it, give you a little reference.
Like for a rekit, yeah, I can show you what I got. Basically I've got a multi-pivot line. I mean,
let's see.
Which is usually kind of fun.
Okay, not big participation on this vote, but 72% yes. We got to remember at 9 o'clock we do have some numbers coming out, so we'll keep an eye on those. But 72% yes. All right.
That number could give us the price action I need to see to either make a move or forget about it.
All right, Mr. Hoyt, go for it.
Share screen.
I get you, Rob. I mean, the opening range is the low of the session, and we're looking for shorts. Are we crazy?
So here, I'll try to make this.
It always looks like you're making a quilt.
Yeah, that's me. Okay, so here's what I have. So multi-pivot line, any line that has 3 or more touches, being a trend line to a multi-pivot line.
Mm-hmm.
Multi-pivot lines are cool because they can be used for action-reaction, which is kind of my bread and butter here. It's basically the theory behind median lines or pitchforks is action-reaction, right? A pitchfork just makes it easy. So any action has an equal and opposite reaction. So we replicate this line, bring it up here. That farthest price got away from the line.
You're talking inertia, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Right?
Inertia. You smart. You know that?
Yeah, sometimes.
The apple fell on your head.
Yeah, it did. I don't think it made me any smarter. Well, this is a continuation chart, so it really isn't working that well. Okay, here we go. So you can see I have this line here. Touch. Fails. It's the backside, fails again, right? We're right at this line right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I'm looking at this area. Now, I don't have anything to really hype. I mean, you have this, but that's way too rich. I'm never risking that much. What I want to see is price kind of close lower away from this line.
And then come back to it.
Then the next bar, I'll take a shot with a cash stop above this line. And then my target could be, I don't know, halfway back. Could be anywhere. I don't really have a target in mind because it could be, if this is the end of the road, I mean, we're going to seek down to where we came from.
From whence we came.
From hence where we came, right?
Yes.
Typically, if you hit this level and you're right, for sure it makes 40 points minimum. I mean, there's no question about it. But that's why, I'm risking 10. I don't want to necessarily, I'm not going to risk 10 unless I see a good reason to.
Right. Yeah, so far we've traded up to 37.81. We have an offer at 83 that hasn't been hit yet.
And a lot of times this 9 o'clock number will be a perfect reason for a price to zoom away, boom, then come back.
Come back to it.
Or zoom through and blow the idea out of the water.
Hey, Hoag, it's Joe.
Hey, Joe, what's up?
Is Ben finished? I don't want to interrupt him.
This was Matt, and yeah, you can interrupt him.
Yeah, okay. Um,
What do you got? You gonna
as
share?
Ben or someone mentioned, the internals are extremely strong.
Uh-huh.
I watched the developing point of control very closely. That's been moving up. Um, the As I mentioned to you a couple weeks ago, this is a perfect long entry for me. I mean, my trading plan on a morning like this until the character changes
Mm-hmm.
is I'm only interested in getting long. And what I use for a signal to get long is an extreme negative at a day like today, negative tick reading on the dollar sign TICK. That's one of the four internals. If I find an extreme liquidation on the tick chart, a big negative reading on the tick chart, and I have some parameters that I go by that consistent with my trading plan, then I'm looking for a long. Usually you don't get that on a day like today until after 9 o'clock central. So anytime between 9 and 9:30 central, you usually get your extreme tick reading, and that's usually a good
Entry.
risk reward entry for if you're looking to go long. We haven't had it yet. I'm waiting patiently. If I don't get it, I don't get it. If I do get it, then I'm over.
Right. Now, are you looking at particular levels in the day time frame now so far that might be interesting opportunities for the long?
Well, certainly where the developing point of control is right now, it's too far away. I think the developing point of control is going to have to move up.
TPO point of control.
If it moves up, right now it's at 50, 37.50. It will move up here shortly. If it gets up within a reasonable distance from the high, then yeah, that would be a very good entry. And then I'm always looking at pivots also. Usually when you get a liquidation break, it's going to surpass the previous pivot, which makes you think, oh my God, trend has changed. But because I get an extreme tick reading, I'm confident that the trend has not changed. It's just going to make everybody believe that.
Uh-huh.
So not only do you get a stop, I think these are stop runs. I think they're probably dealers adjusting their book, and then of course, as a follow-on to that, you probably have a lot of retail traders saying, it broke the pivot. I'm going to get short. I'm going to get short. So
Uh-huh.
it tends to exacerbate itself. And it makes for a good entry if you're looking long, and it gives you a good a point where you are wrong. So it gives you a good stop too, which would be the apex of that liquidation break.
And I share, it looks like you're short at 83 now.
Right.
About to come in the B period. I was wondering if I could share a possible exit strategy.
Go for it.
Possible reversal long here. So go back here. They fired up the tree grinder again. So
Oh, wonderful.
okay. Hopefully you're seeing the TPO chart.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So just real quick, I was watching this. This is on 1 minute chart. Potential head and shoulders down to where I was looking for possible entry long right here at 70 quarter in B period. But you can see where it broke this shoulder. So a failed sell signal is a buy signal, right? I didn't take it or anything, but that was a nice move up
Uh-huh.
off the 1 minute. So it broke the shoulder and boom, went right up. Anyway, so back to we're gonna open here this
Right at the high of A.
yeah, so it may keep going up, but
Yeah.
I always, like I've said before, I try to paint the bars. For us to open on the high tick and keep going is possible. It rarely happens though. So we just had that pop. I can see us pulling off here. Maybe not, but anyway, if we get down to the BPOC, that would be an exit for a short if you're still in it. And then, if it was to come back towards half back, you could get long at like 70 quarter and get out of that short and risk like below this volume shoulder here. That's an idea. but I don't know, may just keep going straight up all day.
Yeah, well, we're not doing too well on our short here.
I'll go back to see where,
We're out.
quick, before I turn it back over. 21, so trading at 92 quarter right now. So that's right here at this VPOC. So, you know, a short here from 92, and then risking above where this whole cluster is at, well, it's 5 points. That's kind of rich for me, but you know, that's a right in or right out. So if someone's to get short here, might be able to take it at least down to maybe this area here around 85. So 5 to 7 points, I would think. Again, I'm being a bit contrarian.
Where's the risk on that?
Hang on. Figure again. So, shorting right in here on this VPOC, you got this overnight high back here at this volume, and a VPOC and the overnight at 93.5. So anywhere between 94 quarter and 97 quarter for a stop. I mean, it could go higher. There's a little bit of volume shortage here, but I don't. That's just me. I'm not going to risk 5 points necessarily on a contrarian trade like that, you know. But it's just, you know, this area is likely to see some movement, and maybe they're going to shake out weaker hands before they go higher, possibly, you know, or it could just slow grind all day.
Yeah, we just yeah.
Just split this out real quick just to look at the structure over here. So yeah, we got a lot in L period here, and it opened way up here the other day, you know, so there still is possible shorts unraveling. So you gotta be careful, but anyway, that's the idea.
All right, thank you. So we were, me and opening range low of the session, saying this market was not going was going to try not to let us in. We couldn't have been more right about that, right? So we look for a short, decent risk, didn't work. Now I think we just get patient. Now we should just wait and see what happens. If this market gives us an opportunity as the day goes on, we'll take it.
I'm sorry, I was a bit misguided. We were already above 92 and that pop up, and I was thinking, because when I scroll back like that, I can't see where the price is.
Oh, right. Got it.
Sorry.
That's all right. So here we are.
Hey, Hoag, it's Joe again.
Joe, yeah.
3,800 is a major gamma level. It's a level where there's a large concentration of dealer positions or hedges, if you will. And it does usually act as a, as an inflection point. So if you're looking for a short, that might be a good area. And again, don't pin me to 3,800. It's
No.
an area.
Right.
It would be 3,800, give or take 5 on each side.
Understood. Yeah, there's nothing finite in futures trading. Everything's a zone, right?
Yeah, but that is a major gamma level. As per ScottGamma.com, which is a very interesting website you ought to check out as far as dealer hedging and how it influences the short-term movements of markets.
So I merged some of those profiles back together around 21, and you know, I really do. I think that we might see a pullback before we go higher. So like for me, like if we get a little higher, I'd be willing to risk the high, like 94.5, and just try one out, which I'm gonna do. But that's sort of the idea.
For a long, you said?
No, I was gonna,
short it.
We're gonna get a bit of a flush back, so I'm gonna try here at like maybe 95 and risk the high on one. Yeah. Okay, got in there. So I'm only risking like 3.5 points or something. So
All right, we're joining you.
94.75, and I mean it could go way down, but I like to see it, a few points out of it.
Right.
but not necessarily 10, you know.
You go with 6.
94.5 to,
Kind of like this low volume node here. Joshua saying tops are accepting with too much ease. The market's been very difficult to find pullbacks in. Certainly don't want to fall in love with any contrary moves. Here's your shot. Here's your spot.
well, it almost got me out at 90.25. I'm waiting for 90.25.
Daniel saying might be the best pullback before reaching 3,800. See, I like this low volume node here.
Behold, this is a liquidation break that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking to get long, that you get long. It hasn't reached my parameters yet, but this is what I'm talking about. Needs to go a little bit more before it qualifies for my entry. By the way, that 3,800 level that I was talking about,
Mhm.
all the gamma is, I looked at the book map and there's a big
Big offer there.
a big book. Big book there, 3,800.
So I was happy with, I'm out at 90.25, 4.5 points.
Nice job. Yeah, we took a little bit less than that on that, but we took it with you.
Oh, great.
Yeah, nice trade.
Thank you. Yeah, it could continue down to the A high, or even, you know, get more taking back some at A before it goes higher. But you know, right here is where it starts to even to get that last couple of ticks. It starts to that's when it starts to eat up your mental, emotional capital.
Mm-hmm. Joe Shaw is asking, what number are you looking for on the tick?
Okay, I had my mic on. I'm not looking for a number. I have some volatility indicators on the tick chart, and when it crosses that volatility level, that's my signal. So you can use Keltner channels, you can use Bollinger Bands, you can use whatever you want, but anything that gives you a 2 to 2.5 standard deviation, that's kind of what I'm looking for. And you'll get, depending on the day, you'll get some really good signals during the day. But again, you got to take them in context. You just can't take the signal.
You in Massachusetts?
New Hampshire,
New Hampshire.
1 hour from Boston.
I see.
He's my cousin from Boston. It says, okay to Beer Fest. Oh, that low volume node where the point of control, TPO point of control is, that looks juicy. We just had a decent opportunity relatively close to that. I'm going to throw this out there. Do we want to look for a long against this low volume node on this volume? I call these volume shoulders. It goes from a high volume node to a low volume node. I call them shoulders. Because this is low risk. If we can hold this low volume node as support, we can see this market continuing. I'm gonna go ahead and relaunch this, see if we like that idea. I think Joshua's in. Let's call it 37.87.5 and risk 3 to 4 points on it if we get it. We had 82% yes. %, participation, 81% like this trade. If we get it, we may have already missed our opportunity. Risking 4 points. So we'll see. Down a little bit this morning, not bad. I've been kind of trimming losses after the session a little bit on some of the days that we've had some down days.
HOAG.
Yes.
I missed that because I was talking, but I did get a signal. I got a signal on my tick chat at your time. It would be 9:10. On my time, it's 10:10. That qualified. I got my signal, and if you line it up at 10:10, you'll see the apex of that liquidation break was a perfect entry. I didn't take it, didn't get in, but that's basically what I'm talking about. What I do is I'll use 2 contracts, and I'll put my stop right below that apex, and I'll get out say with a 3-point take profit on one contract.
One and let the other one run.
And then the other one would be 3 points below the apex, and my target's usually 10 points, which looks like
Getting pretty close.
I'm about to get if I had taken it.
Right. So we were looking at this low volume node here, which is basically our TPO point of control as a support level. So we got kind of leaked down there. By the time I asked the question, we were trying to buy it at 37.8750. I don't know if we ever even really got there, but we certainly haven't since we placed the order. But we were going to risk 4 points on this to take out the high. Mr. Shine's Mystery Channel. Haven't seen you for a while. It's good to see you. Caesar and YouTube is saying scary to go long today at these levels, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Hey, Hoag, that level that I would have gotten in,
Yes.
which would have been around the 91 level, does that line up with anything you or Ben or anyone else has for levels?
Well, it's when I look to these low volume nodes for support or resistance, I call these the volume shoulders. So anywhere in the volume shoulder does give me opportunity to limit risk against the low volume node. I was being pretty cheap trying to get in all the way as close to that low volume node as possible, just to try and limit risk, because sometimes you'll get it.
We got a new 15-minute bar in a second. I may have missed it when I was looking at it. It did flush a little bit, but I'm going to try 94.25 again. And
For a short.
Yeah, where's the high?
Point of control. We're with you. Oops. We're short 93.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not on board yet.
94, 95 has a big level on the book map.
Nice offers. One other thing that I'm noticing here is our volume point of control is in the upper extreme of the range. Sometimes that gives us an opportunity for moving the opposite direction.
So let's talk about maybe why that is.
What's your thought?
Well, I'm thinking that the volume is building there because we're finding two-sided trade, fair price, but then of course that means that that's where sellers are stepping in as well. So if buyers can't take it higher, then we should see a flush. And that's why it would move away from there.
Yeah, we've got overnight longs. We've got all the buyers coming in. We've finding some sellers up at this level.
But it also could be people accumulating.
Uh-huh.
Take higher, so it's, I don't know. So
Yeah, we got Delta at 8,300 positive on the day session today. So Delta is congruent with direction. There's no indication of other time frame and activity in this. In the opposite direction, that would be.
We just took out that volume,
Mm-hmm.
94, 95, it's gone now. Big bookmark volume sphere right at that level. We bought it.
Ben, you're in.
yeah, I got filled at 94.25,
Nice.
but I gotta flip over to a different chart. I want to see. Sometimes I get in a trade, I'm like, okay, I need to be. I'm not super happy about this trade, like as far as the first time. I'm in on the second time or third, so I want to look at a different time frame.
They're reestablishing that inventory.
So they're stacking up some more offers there.
Yeah. Making another run at it.
Mm-hmm. A little ice order going on there.
Took it out. Backing them up again.
Well, if we run out of time, where is my target for this?
You're at 93.5.
Yep.
Personally, I'd be looking anywhere from 2 points plus, whatever. But unless we get a nice fast move in a couple minutes to the downside.
There's a level at 90. And another one at 85.
Let's go 85. I feel better about the reward to risk on that. We'll see what happens. That's our low volume node here. Shaw asking, what's not happening? We're not getting pullbacks.
They just took it out again.
Might get
Persistent
a
buyers.
pop if it cracks 95, but I don't think I'm still gonna risk the high. I think.
Rian is asking, would anyone look to fade the high? 97, 98.
There we go.
We are taking out huge orders and not going higher, Shaw says. Good eye. Almost 10,000 positive delta. Nasdaq selling off a little now. Thank you, Daniel.
I'm coming out at 90 quarter again, just like last time. if it'll get it done.
Stacking up at 95 again.
Okay, I'm out.
Nice
Okay.
trade.
Nice job. All right, we're going to see if we get down to 76. Almost half back through our low volume node to the bottom to the high volume node below that. We'll see if this plays out. I'm accepting the risk.
Took out the 90.
What's that?
They took out the 90.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're stacking above it. 90, 91.
Mm.
So you're going for lower than the A high. You're going for
Yep.
70 something. Okay.
Yep. 76 quarter is where I currently have it. We're going to see if that plays out. So if you want to know, come watch the recap at the end of the day. I do have to run. We got a nice little move down here, so we'll see if this plays out. We're risking, what are we risking? 5, 6, 5.5 points. We're looking to take almost 20. We'll see if this plays. Daniel, thank you. Shaw, thank you. Everybody, Ben, Joe, Matt, thank you for joining me today as always. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Looking forward to continuing to add more sessions. Again, we're not going to have the session tomorrow. I got to do some straightening of things out and some organizing, but we're going to be doing this 4 times a week, different times. So looking forward to seeing some opportunities. If I don't talk to you later, trade well, and we'll see you on the recap, or at the very least, Coach's Playbook at 11:30. See you later.
Sir, appreciate it.
Appreciate
All
you.
right, enjoy the day, guys. Thanks, Hoag.
Blessings, everyone. Have a great one.